Feral pigs are found in every state and territory in Australia, preying on native animals and ravaging the environment. New high-tech efforts are being used to help fight the prolific breeding pest. The latest weapon is GPS tracking collars, giving farmers an insight into feral pig behaviour and what needs to be done to stop them. ABC rural reporter Sally Bryant from Central West of New South Wales has the story.
This is one pig trap on one farm in northern New South Wales. There are 30 feral pigs inside. If you needed a simple insight into how great a problem the animals are in Australia, it doesn't come much clearer than this. Darren Marshall is a scientist. He's a pig control specialist. And it's his job today to kill all these pigs.
It's a battle out there. If landholders are the front line for invasive management, feral pigs are the enemy. And we have to increase our knowledge to know our enemy so that we can target them. I have a very healthy respect for feral pigs.
Like much of Australia, the country around Moree is a mixture of grazing land, farming land and natural bush. Some of which is managed by the National Parks and Wildlife Service. Everyone has different priorities, and pests like pigs affect everyone differently. Glenn Finance and his family grow wheat and chickpeas. And if a dry winter wasn't bad enough, they're also fighting what feels like a losing battle against wild pigs.
3 years ago, we lost $100,000 worth of chickpeas on that paddock in 1 year, one season. And this goes on everywhere.
How have you been controlling them?
We've been poisoning, shooting, helicopter shooting. Most nights I'm out 4 nights a week. Usually go, slip home, have dinner with the kids and go from sort of 6:30, 7 at night through to 11:30 or 12 of a night time.
But feral pigs are smart. It takes more than just shooting and baiting to control them. Glenn's brother, Mick Finance, has spent up big on fencing to keep the pigs out of his crops.
It works out to be roughly around $10,000 a kilometre. And we worked out that we'd lost about $120,000 just in that area in the last 10 years. So, you know, an $80,000 fence to be installed now. We've had no damage whatsoever on the inside of that fence. And it's proof to the pudding, really, that it's actually working. And, you know, an $80,000 investment, hopefully that fence will be here for another 40 or 50 years. So it's quite cheap if you look at it that way.
It's got a collar on it, yep. Yeah, we just need to make sure he's okay and fit and healthy and that he's given us the data that we want.
Pig control expert Darren Marshall is researching a PhD on how to help farmers fight pests.
And we'll drug him, knock him out, and we'll weigh him.
Yep, get him out and weigh him.
Make sure he's all good and let him go again.
Excellent.
Cheers.
That means finding out exactly how pigs behave in the wild and then sharing that information with farmers, giving them a better chance to win the war.
All right, you got the full dose?
Yep.
We'll back off him now, let him go down. I've been working on feral animals with the community for the last 14 years, and I didn't feel like I was having a change. I was being paid to help people, farmers in the landscape, to decrease their feral animal populations. I didn't feel like I was doing that. So I'm using these GPS radio tracking collars, gives us fantastic ecology data, engages the community, we can get somewhere. It's a shame, he's been trying to get this off for months. He'll have it off, but he'll still be asleep.
Go straight back on.
He'll be back on.
Now, you're trapping pigs, you're drugging them, it's all, you know, safe for the pig, a collar with a tracking device is put around their neck, and then you let them go. And that's with a farmer's permission. Can you see it in the farmer's face that it's killing them to let you let that pig go again, to go and, kill lambs or get into their crops?
It's difficult for me to get over that as well, not only the landholder. We definitely only do it where we get permission. But now we get not much pushback at all about that. I think we have proven enough that the data that we get back is more useful than the damage that 1 or 10 or 12 pigs may do. So I do think people see the benefit of the research that we're doing. This is the number of nights free feeding. This is how many pigs come to the site.
Darren has spent a lot of time and effort building relationships around Moree. It's about engagement. It's about empowering farmers with the science so that they have a greater overall view of the feral pig menace and what works to kill them.
If you don't take out over 75%, there's no impact on that population because they can reinfest, they're big and mobile, and they can breed fast. So if we all went out tonight...
Feral pigs are clearly a big problem for these farmers. So they've come here together tonight to the local sports club to sit down together, to look at the statistics related to the sorts of pig problems they're getting, and to speak to pig researcher Darren Marshall to see what some of the solutions might be.
It's the people problem and the pig problem. So to start with, we're going to talk about the pig problem, then the people problem, then what we're trying to do to sort of come to that.
No one at this meeting feels like they're being talked down to, and that's deliberate. They're all in it together.
Yes. In favourable conditions, they breed all year round. Only rabbits breed faster than pigs and maybe a few Sydney nightclubs. But that's about it. They are the most prolific large mammal on Earth at the moment. So
but that's not to say everyone agrees with each other.
It's about now someone puts their hand up and says, bounties, we need a bounty. We should be paying for a snout.
But obviously over the years, the bounties for crows and eagles worked. Years ago.
Yep. Here's what happened in Tennessee, in America. So for 50 years, from 1950, there was no bounty. There was no hunting regulation. So over 50 years, this is how the population spread. You can see that. Then what happened was they brought in a bounty. Here's what happened in 10 years of the bounty. Why would that happen?
Because it's moving to different places.
Yeah, taking place at home so you don't have to go as far.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tomo.
What he's doing is working. Farmers are excited to learn more about wild pig behaviour and about how far they
I
roam.
can't believe this pig's still alive. He's a crop runner.
Catching wild pigs and releasing them with a GPS tracking collar has revealed some surprising data.
There's a trap there. That's where you got that bloke that where I trapped him when you had to adjust his collar. That's right there.
Yep.
Right. So he's moving around this area. See, there's a bore with a big dam in behind here, and then there's stockyards there. So there's obviously food source there, right? So I want to try and get a baiting site happening right there somewhere.
It's interesting that he's not necessarily hitting this scrub as much as I thought he might have. Yep. He's using that creek line, obviously, yep. and then using the crop.
Yeah.
Much more than these sort of predominant scrubby hills.
And another thing he's found is that it's important to have a celebrity wild pig.
Jeez, mate, he is big. Yeah.
It's an animal that people are interested in, one whose behaviour they can watch and keep track of. Meet Salvador. This big pig has never been caught before, and today is his lucky day because he's not going to be killed. Darren's hoping this beast has enough charisma to capture the hearts and minds of the farmers in the area. Salvador was caught on Daryl Mitchell's farm.
The stress of damage to fences, stock get out, you lose your sheep numbers, and we just got to go and try and find them, whether in the neighbours' country, with all our boundary is bounded by scrub, timber, national park or people's back country that they don't use anymore. So, the sheep are gone. Once they go out, you can't find them.
Yeah, which is good.
He's half Joey.
We had an iconic pig in the Arcadia Valley. He weighed in at 120 kilos, and he became an iconic pig. And what happens was with these GPS tracking collars, if an animal dies or that collar remains stationary for 12 hours, I get a text message or an email to say that there's been a mortality. I had 3 phone calls from the community before I received the text message to say our iconic pig has been taken out.
88.8.
I reckon we should put the collar on him.
Daryl Mitchell got involved in this project because he's after some very basic answers.
Well, actually, where do they come from and where do they go? You know, do they live here, or do they come out of the national park, or do they come out of neighbours' backcountry? You know, just information of where they go. Do they come in and they live here and they have their own little society here? Like, yeah, it's very interesting.
Sarah Chapman works for the New South Wales Government's Local Land Services, which provides agricultural and biosecurity advice. She says farmers are often worried about sharing boundaries with the national parks because of pests and because of the threat to their livelihood.
This program's really great in that by really getting to know those movement patterns and where feral pigs are utilising that habitat, we can target where they're most susceptible, and that means we can improve habitat condition for those biodiversity outcomes. So we're getting both production outcomes and biodiversity outcomes through this.
But despite farmers' appreciation of the science and the benefits of tracking a wild pig with a GPS tracking collar, when a farmer sees a pig on his paddock, it often gets shot. Darren accepts this, but his good standing amongst the farmers sees that he gets his equipment back.
Sally, we've got a really unique situation here. This is fantastic. This is a collar that's been taken out. So we do really hope that the landholders or the shooters, whoever take our animals out, will return our collars.
How big a deal is if one of these pigs gets shot? Is it a problem for your project?
No, not at all, not at all. I do not want the landholders, the land managers, to change the management for feral pigs. We need real life, real examples of what these pigs are doing so we know how to manage them.
Your involvement in this pig research program, what would you like to see come out of it?
What I want to try and do, or what I try and achieve, is to catch as many of the collared pigs as I can, and that will give me basically the nous to know that we're actually getting on top of the problem. So yeah, that's my job, just trying to spoil it.
Have you told Darren you're trying to spoil it?
He'll be right. I've got plenty more pigs that we can readjust collars to. There's no doubt about that.
Feral pigs are a menace to people's livelihoods. Darren Marshall's work is making great inroads into providing a solution, one that farmers both need and want.
He's a good big pig. He'll be really good. He'll give us some fantastic data.